Good evening, everyone. We are the Group 4 and we are here to tackle about global citizenship. But before we start, our group is allowing our instructor, Mr. Rodan Ardines, to use this as an educational material. So the objectives: global citizenship, ethical obligations, why global citizenship matters, global movements of people, overview of global migration trends, importance of understanding global movements, experience of OFWs, political factors, experience of OFWs, economic factors, experience of OFWs, cultural factors, and lastly, experiences of OFWs, social factors.
Global citizenship refers to recognizing that one identity transcends national boundaries and that individuals are part of a broader, interconnected world. It involves understanding global issues, respecting cultural diversity, and actively contributing to the well-being of people across the globe. Global citizens advocate for social justice, human rights, environmental sustainability, and peace, viewing these as shared responsibilities.
Why global citizenship matters? Because it fosters global understanding. Global citizenship encourages awareness of different cultures, perspectives, and experiences. This broadens our understanding of global issues and helps break down the stereotypes and prejudices that creating a more tolerant world. And it is also addresses global challenges. Many of today's challenges such as pandemic, climate change, and economic inequalities that requires collective international efforts. Global citizens advocate for and participate in solutions that transcend national interests, and it is also promotes peace and security. By valuing diversity and human rights, global citizenship fosters peaceful coexistence. Understanding the complexities of global politics and economies helps individuals support policies that aim for peace, conflict resolution, and mutual respect. And it is also enhances economic collaboration. A global citizen mindset promotes international cooperation and collaboration, leading to more effective global trade and technological advancement. It encourages partnership that can boost economic growth and innovation across borders. And lastly, it is supports sustainable development. Global citizenship promotes sustainable practices by emphasizing the importance of environmental stewardship. By acting locally and thinking globally, individuals contribute to reducing resource depletion and protecting the planet for future generations. Benefits to individuals and society. Number 1, personal growth and education. Engaging with global issues helps individuals develop critical thinking, communication, and problem-solving skills. Exposure to diverse culture and viewpoints enhance cultural sensitivity and adaptability, both of which are crucial in an increasingly globalized world. Career opportunities. As the world becomes more interconnected, employees seek individuals who understand global trends and are adaptable to different cultural environments. Global citizens are better prepared to work in international environments, opening doors to global career prospects. Number 3, empathy and compassion. Global citizenship fosters empathy by encouraging individuals to consider the needs and struggle of others. It cultivates a sense of compassion that motivates positive actions such as volunteerism and advocacy for human rights. Number 4, strengthen social bonds. On a societal level, global citizenship encourages collaboration across borders, breaking down barriers between nations and communities. This helps address global inequalities and foster more inclusive, resilient societies. And lastly, number 5, active civic engagement. Global citizens are more likely to engage in local, national, and global civic activities. This enhances democratic participation and empowers individuals to influence decisions that impact both their own communities and the world at large.
Global movements of people overview of global migration trends refers to the movement of people across borders of various reasons, including economic opportunities, political instability, environmental factors, and social or family reasons. Over the past decades, the patterns of migration have significantly shifted due to globalization, advancements in transportation and communication, and increasing of geopolitical conflicts. So number one is economic migration. Number two is political and humanitarian migration. Number three is environmental migration. And number four is social and cultural migration.
Importance of understanding global movement. Understanding global migration trend is vital for both government and societies for several reasons. Economic impact. Migration contribute to the global economy, filling labor shortage in host countries and sending remittances back home countries, which help alleviate poverty. The second is social integration. Migrant brings cultural diversity and can foster innovation in growth in various fields. However, without proper policies, migration can also lead to challenges in social cohesion and xenophobia. Political consideration. Migration policies often reflect broader political dynamics with debates surrounding national security, border control, and human rights. Countries must balance security concern with the need to offer refugee and protection. The last is humanitarian perspective. Displaced population requires international cooperation and protection, which make understanding migration pattern essential for addressing global humanitarian crisis effectively. By examining this trend and their drivers, stakeholders can develop informed policies and approach that maximize the benefits of migration while mitigating its challenges.
Political challenges faced by OFWs. 1. Lack of political representation. Many OFWs experience limited political representation in their host countries. They cannot participate, and local governance have limited access to embassy services and are often excluded from political decisions that affect their labor rights. Example, OFWs in Middle East, particularly in countries like Saudi Arabia and UAE, have no political voice or voting rights, and their ability to influence policies related to labor issues is highly constrained. 2. Difficulty in exercising voting rights. Even though OFWs are guaranteed the right to vote in national election through the Overseas Absence Voting Act, Republic Act 9189, many still face challenges in accessing polling station or registering due to the lack of resources or embassy presence in their host countries. In the 2019 Philippine national election, there was low turnout of absent voters, with only 31% of registered OFWs casting their votes. This was due to difficulties in voting process, including long travel time to polling centers. 3. Inconsistent labor laws and policies. Many OFWs are subject to different labor laws than those applied to local workers, often to their disadvantage. These laws vary widely from country to country, with a little protection for OFWs in terms of labor rights and welfare. Example, the kafala system in the Middle East, which binds workers to their employers, restrict their ability to change jobs or leave the country without employer consent. This can lead to exploitation and abuse with little recourse for OFWs due to weak enforcement of labor protections. 4. Diplomatic relations affecting workers' security. The security and welfare of OFWs are sometimes caught in the crossfire of strained diplomatic relations between the Philippines and the host countries. In 2020, the Philippine government imposed a deployment ban on workers to Kuwait after a series of high-profile cases of abuse and death among Filipino domestic workers. The diplomatic tension affected thousands of OFWs who are left in the limbo while the two countries negotiated terms of improved workers' protection. 5. Limited access to aid and justice. OFWs facing legal problems abroad often encounter difficulty accessing legal assistance due to complexity of foreign legal system, language barriers, and high cost of legal representation. Example, in 2011, three OFWs were executed in China after being convicted of drug trafficking, despite calls for clemency from the Philippines government. Legal avenues were exhausted and there was limited ability to intervene due to difference in the legal system and diplomatic constraints.
So my topic is economic impacts of OFWs and their families. So increased impacts. Number one, for many OFWs working abroad offer significantly higher wages compared to what they would earn in their home country, especially for those coming from developing nations like the Philippines. This increase in income enables them to provide better living conditions for their families. So number two, remittances. One of the primary economic impacts IFWs have on their families is through remittance. These money transfers are often used for household needs, education, healthcare, and even investments. Financial support enhances the standard of living for families left behind. And number three, improve social mobility. So, with better access to education, healthcare, and more stable living conditions, the families of OFWs often experience upward social mobility. Children of OFWs have greater access to higher education, which improve their jobs prospects and social status. Number four, dependence on remittance. So, on the downside, families can become overly dependent on remittance, leading to lack of motivation, seek local employment or business opportunities. This dependency may foster economic complacency with the family. And last one, number five, strained finances for OFWs. While they may earn more, OFWs face high living costs in host countries. Additionally, they may struggle with financial obligations both in their host country and back home, so including supporting extended family members. So that's all.
Economic contributors to home and host countries. Number one, home country. Remittance inflows. OFW are significant source of remittances, which form a substantial of Philippines gross domestic product. According to the data from the Bangko Sentral Philippines, consistently contribute $1 billion annually, strengthening the country foreign exchanges reserve, invest of local economies, generating ventures upon their return. This simulates a local economic activity, skills and knowledge transfer. OFW who returns to Philippines bring within new skills, experiences, which they can apply to enhance the local economy, particular sectors, healthcare, education, and technology. 2. Host country. Labor supply. Often fill labor shortages and host countries, especially sector, but often shortages workers. And last, economic integration. Over time, OFW may contribute to the broader economic and development of host country through entrepreneurship, paying taxes, and engaging long-term employment.
Experience of OFW's cultural factors. Cultural adjustment and challenges. OFWs often experience a significant cultural shift when living and working abroad. They face the challenges of adjusting to unfamiliar norms, practices, language, and social etiquette. Common challenges include language barriers. In countries where English or Filipino is not widely spoken, OFW must learn the local language to communicate effectively. Different work ethics and attitudes. Workplaces in other countries may have distinct hierarchical system, punctuality standards, and expectation regarding employee initiative or deference to authority, adapting to local customs and traditions. OFW must adjust to various social customs such as dress codes, holiday celebrations, or dietary restrictions. They can be difficult, especially in countries with strict cultural or religious practices. Homesickness and isolation. Being far from family and familiar environments can lead to loneliness and sense of isolation, especially if the local community is not welcoming or inclusive. Number two is cultural exchange and diversity benefits. Despite the challenges, working abroad allows OFW to engage in cultural exchange, which brings several benefits. Broader perspectives. Exposure to new cultural helps OFW develop a more inclusive worldview and gain deeper respect for diversity. They become more open-minded and adaptable to various cultural contexts. Increase cultural awareness. By learning about other cultures, OFW gain insights into different ways of life, which they may share with their families and communities when they return home. Personal and professional growth. So, cultural exchange allow OFW to acquire new skills and experience that contribute to their personal development and professional competence. This includes learning new languages, traditions, and social practices. Stronger global networks. So, interacting with people from various backgrounds often helps OFWs create international friendship and professional connection that can enrich their lives and future opportunities. Through these cultural factors, OFW navigate complex experience of integration and exchange while contributing to multicultural world.
Social factors and affecting overseas Filipino workers. Number 1. Social issues and impact on OFWs. Isolation and loneliness. Discrimination and racism. Access to social support networks. Access to social import networks. Cultural differences. Number 2. Community integration and social responsibilities. Cultural adaptation and integration. Remittances and social responsibility back home. Community engagement abroad. Impact on family dynamic. In summary, global citizenship highlights our shared responsibility in addressing global challenges through empathy, cooperation, and awareness. The experiences of overseas Filipino workers, or OFWs, show how political, economic, and social and cultural factors affect their lives, emphasizing the importance of inclusive policies and human rights protection. Call to action. Let's embrace global citizenship by supporting migrant workers for their rights and welfare. The second is promoting fairness and equality across borders. And lastly is practicing empathy and cultural sensitivity. By becoming more globally aware, we contribute to a just and interconnected world.